Hello everyone and welcome back to Destiny. We have a pretty incredible week, at least for me and my Guardians, and in this video we'll take a look at the week's activities, some great news for those of you working on your tier 12 builds, and the sun finally rises on me as I get my year 3 icebreaker. For the Nightfall this week, we have the Wretched Eye. The modifiers are Brawler, Fresh Troops, Match Game, and Exposure. This week's Nightfall will definitely make you earn it. The majors can be a big problem if you don't take them out quickly. Exposure can prove to be a bit of a problem against Kovic in the final encounter, so I recommend using something like Red Death to help you regenerate health. I actually kind of forgot how effective this weapon can be, especially with high caliber rounds. And of course you have the final perk of Red Death, which gets you health upon kills and also helps you speed up your reload. Most of the encounter isn't too bad, but of course you're going to have a little bit of trouble in the final encounter just because of the way the arena is laid out. Of course, I recommend using abilities like Shadow Shot, Ignite, or Melting Point to help take him down as fast as possible. The one thing you're definitely going to want to look out for though is those shanks that come around midway through the battle. Once his health starts going down, I recommend keeping an eye in the sky and waiting for those shanks. Also, one thing that helped with me and my team is designating someone to aggro the ogre across the room from the other two people. This should all help you take down Kovic before that ogre enrages. Once the ogre enrages, you're going to have a much tougher time. And the big news for me finally was that on my third character, I finally got the icebreaker from the Sunrise Bounty. I was convinced for a moment that I was going to go another week without the icebreaker, but I did finally get it, and it was glorious. The icebreaker is of course an exotic sniper rifle from year 1. The weapon was not brought forward in year 2, but was finally brought forward in year 3 with the Dawning update. So now we officially only have one exotic remaining from year 1 that is yet to come up to year 3 light, and that is the Pocket Infinity. But getting back to icebreaker, the big deal is its intrinsic perk No Backpack, which means this weapon regenerates ammo. That does come with some fallbacks though, which means that you can't actually pick up any special ammo bricks. It essentially has a magazine of 6 with no reserves and regenerates 1 ammo every 8 seconds. It also has Mulligan, which is good news for a weapon that doesn't have reserves, and then the exotic perk is Icebreaker, which is essentially a non-crit version of Firefly. And of course that is a fantastic perk to take out groups of low health enemies, and you'll be more inclined to do so since you regenerate ammo. Now the Icebreaker is a tough weapon to compare to other sniper rifles because it really does cater to a slightly different playstyle. If you're looking for straight DPS, something like the Black Spindle might actually work a little bit better in your favor, but this is more for getting a couple shots in, stowing it away, using your primary for a little bit, and then pulling it back out. But again, you can make the argument that if you're up against an Ultra that moves around a lot, you will technically get more DPS out of the Icebreaker simply because you won't ever quote-unquote run out of ammo. I like this weapon quite a bit because I know I can rely on that ammo regen and I don't ever have to worry about finding special ammo. It's a super effective weapon and I'm very happy that I finally got it. I simply can't wait for another Solar Special Super Week to come around. Moving on to the Siva Crisis Heroic playlist, this week we have Voidburn, Small Arms, and Fresh Troops. Nothing too special, but I'll probably take out my Red Death because I was having so much fun with it in the Nightfall. And finally, moving on to some good news for those who are working on their tier 12 builds, and that is that Tyrakarin's artifacts have some pretty incredible perks this week. If you're like me and have been stashing away your Iron Lord's legacy, this might be the week to break them out. She has the artifacts for Fellwinter, Timur, and Perun. Not my favorites, but it is getting me very close to tier 12 with my Hunter and Titan. For those who might not know what I mean by tier 12, it's essentially adding up your intellect, discipline, and strength and trying to maximize them as much as possible. You essentially have to get very lucky with your legendary and exotic armor drops to be able to achieve this, but luckily this week the artifacts for sale will help you get there. But for me, I do kind of care about style a little bit, so I do want it to be pieces of armor that I actually want to wear. But anyways, that brings us to the end of the video. Do you have the year 3 icebreaker and how do you like it? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Also, I had a lot of fun making the Q&A video that I posted earlier this week. The video was more about me and my channel, so if you're interested in learning more about me, I'll leave a link in the description. Other than that, you can look forward to part 2 of that Q&A, which will focus on the Destiny questions that were submitted, and that will post a little bit later this week. Anyways, drop a like if you enjoyed this video and subscribe for more Destiny content. And I will see you all next time. And for the final question, what is some things that we don't know about you? If you played college basketball, you know Steph Curry, or if you're in a creepy cult, anything. Well, if you're implying I have some kind of mysterious past, that's absolutely ridiculous.